Hello everybody, welcome back to the Yotso Tech Tracks YouTube channel. This is a follow-up video to the short maintenance slash repair I just did on this vehicle. As you can see, the car is back on its wheels. Let me start it up for you. I also recharged the AC system to have it nice and cold. And let's see under the hood. So 282,000 kilometers, it's approaching 300,000. I would like it to reach that much. That would be an accomplishment. But recently every little thing is falling apart on this car. But what can you expect? It's got a lot of kilometers on it. It hasn't been maintained by the first owner, so it is what it is. But let's see how long we can make this thing keep going. Starts up nicely. AC is blowing cold. Unfortunately, I haven't got a temperature probe to show you, but it does blow cold air. And under the hood, excuse the shakiness of the video, I have to do this with one hand. I don't want to drop this camera, it's pretty expensive. So once again, this is a 2.3 liter, it's a Ford, 4-cylinder, it's got a timing chain. Thank goodness I don't have to dig into the timing belt. So far I've had to replace the water pump, alternator, under the hood, air filter. I cleaned the mass airflow sensor, which is right here, oxygen sensor, which is right here. I took it out, had to break the heat shield, but it was rattling, it was falling apart, and that thing isn't going back on, but it's not a big deal. There's plenty of room here for airflow, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. I just replaced the accessory belt, and underneath, from the previous video you guys might have watched, the air conditioning belt. One thing with that belt, this 2.3 liter has a funny arrangement with that. Basically, the crankshaft drives the air conditioning compressor without any type of an idler pulley. And this belt is supposed to be a stretch belt. It's a K5, that means it's a 5-group serpentine belt, and it's supposed to be stretchy a little bit. And the way you put it on the AC pulley, and you put it on halfway on the crankshaft, and you put a socket on the crankshaft, and you turn the engine, and it'll walk its way on. However, this belt was ridiculously difficult to put on, even for a stretch belt. And I noticed on the box, I can't show you now, I threw it out in garbage already, but the part number was scratched out, and it was rewritten with a magic marker. So I bet you it's the same length as it's supposed to be, but it is not a stretch belt. So if this thing does fall apart in the future, it might be overstretched. Right now it's very tight. However, it's still not too tight, so I'm hoping it'll last. If it's the wrong part number, oh well. It was like $5, $6 at the part source, which is not a big deal. So AC is blowing cold now, and that part is okay. My father-in-law will be happy with it. One more thing I did with this vehicle recently, from the previous videos you guys might have watched, it has new tires, it has new rims. The struts need to be replaced, but if and when I need to, I'll do that. Brake pads, brake rotors in the front, as well as in the back. Tie rod ends I replaced on it. The bodywork is falling apart. These plastic skirts and miscellaneous trim is rusting, because underneath this vehicle it is still silver here in the rocker panel, but pretty much underneath these rivets it's completely rotted away. There's nothing there, there's no more structure. The biggest problem with this vehicle, why the previous owner gave it away, was because of the rust. Some of these Mazdas, I've seen Mazda 5s, Mazda 3s, they're very similar chassis, they rust apart like you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, I put it back together to make it look decent from previous videos, guys. This is from a Ford Explorer, from one of those you pull it junkyards. I took it off. This was part of, I believe this was the rear wheel well, and the front, just the leftover ones I got. I can't remember exactly, but I think I only took off one pair of these fender flares from the Ford, because I think that car was in a wreck, so one corner was gone. So if you can imagine, this circle and this one was one fender flare. So the leftover one, I just put it to the front to cover up some rust. It doesn't look too nice, but trust me, it looks way better than without these. There's basically no structure left underneath this thing. I should have got a Sawzall and cut the whole structure out, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Again, this is a beater car. It looks half decent. It won't get stopped by driving on the road by the police. It doesn't look unsafe, and it looks decent, well, for what it is. It's a 2007. It's lived a hard life, and it lives in Canada all its life, so the road salt in the winter time is taking a toll on it. Anyway, the exhaust has been replaced too underneath. I had to switch that whole thing out because I basically put it together with piping I had left over and U-bolts and clamps. Let me show you underneath. It's the original Mazda muffler. However, underneath, if you can see or not, all those pipings. Let me go from underneath the bottom. You guys get a better angle. It's all put together, but spare parts I have laying around. Clamps and U-bolts. It's not worth it to get a $1,500 or $2,000 exhaust for this vehicle. It is probably not worth a couple of $100s maximum. And it runs as long as it runs, and then it will go to the scrapyard and get crushed up probably. But that's what happens to vehicles, right? Once their usefulness is over, it is too expensive to keep them on the road. Once again, because I can do these repairs myself, whatever happens with this car, minor issues such as the alternator falling apart, the water pump leaking, I can do that no problem for just the price of the part itself. But if you take these kind of vehicles to the shop, they end up charging you for thousands of dollars, and in the end you will still be left with a very old vehicle that's going to fall apart piece by piece by piece from the front to the back. Every single moving part is going to wear out, and unfortunately, it doesn't matter what car you have, if you're handy with tools and if you're good with repairs, you can keep these things on the road for pretty much inexpensive, and well, it's in the long run cheaper than a metro pass to ride the bus. But you have to be able to do these things yourself, and you have to expect breakdowns, you have to expect getting stranded on the road, which again is not a problem for us because I can help my father-in-law out with this vehicle or the Prius or the Jeep. So that's a good thing, because if you're ever stranded, you're not alone. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this is a little bit of an informative review and update for you regarding this vehicle. Hoping to make it last to 300,000 kilometers, and I'll be very happy with it. And most likely they're going to get a newer vehicle, because all these little problems here and there are not really helping with long-term reliability. But again, as a second vehicle, this is perfect for running errands around the city and inexpensive on fuel, insurance, and it is what it is. So thanks for watching, guys, and take care. See you next time on the Yotso Tech Tracks YouTube channel. Bye bye.